channel in those tourism with Fidelia. In this show, we're going to rewrite the narratives of hospitality management and tourism. And I make welcome to let you know that I have notable personalities here on the show. We have on my far left, Mr. Fetobo Awana, founder, Nigeria Travel. Thank you. You're welcome. Next to Mrs. Gloria Konkwo, we have no other person than Mr. Felix Owobevu. He's the HOD, Hospitality, Management and Tourism, Delta State Polytechnic, Ogwashiku, Delta State. You're welcome. Welcome, everybody. You want to say one or two things? You want to say hi to the audience? Please do.
Ladies first, like they say.
That's nice.
Thank you very much for giving us this ample of golden opportunity to be here to showcase the wealth that we have in hospitality and tourism industry. You're most welcome, and we thank you for this opportunity, and we want to really say that Nigeria and Delta State will go a long way in boosting tourism positions. Thank you very much.
Felix, please.
Yeah, it's a great privilege to be here, and we're so happy, myself in particular, that we have a voice now that is spearheading the growth of hospitality and tourism in Delta State, and it's a welcome development. And we hope to see this going international soon as some days. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. In this program, we remain focused on tours and destination marketing, travels and hospitality, hotels and accommodation, transportation, ecotourism, food, fashion, etc. And I'd like to also tell you that we will delve into the legacies of no other person than the tourism expert himself, His Excellency, Senator Dr. Ifeanyi Okowa. Welcome again. Thank you so much, viewers. My panelists, I'd like to start with close to me here. Felix, I'd like to start with you. You're a lecturer in Delta State Polytechnic of Ogwashiku. Only recently, it's disheartening to note that Nigeria is on the red list of the UK. Talking about tourism, please, what is the way ahead for us?
All right. These COVID-19 pandemic that has been ravaging every part of the world, and Nigeria is not an exception. And in the hospitality industry, we have seen, we have come to terms with this, the epidemic as a norm in the hospitality industry that we must embrace, because it's not going to go tomorrow or next tomorrow. It's something we must grab with. Based on the UK ban of putting Nigeria on the travel ban, our tourism industry has been suffering, and especially in terms of flights and whatever. Then now we're on the red alert from UK because of this COVID-19. So I think this is a very great opportunity for us to look inward and focus more on home-based tourism. Nigeria, with a population of over 200 million people, we cannot continue to depend on foreign tourism alone, because of a lot of negative reports about this country. I think we don't even have foreign tourists that come to visit this country. So I think the government should ensure that we develop tourism inward and encourage the citizens to inculcate that travel culture in them, encourage local tourism. And I think if we can develop this, even though Nigeria is still on the UK ban because of this COVID, whatever, Then by developing inbound tourism, we can also encourage our own as well, meeting up with the COVID-19 standard. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's a travel recovery is just starting globally. How do we see these challenges as opportunities in Nigeria?
Well, just like I've said, and just like my brother has said, these challenges actually present, opportunities for us as Nigerians, especially as Deltans. Personally, it took COVID for me to visit Delta states from that tourism pass to really visit tourism attractions in Delta State, even though I've been selling every other part of Nigeria. So whilst I'm so ashamed of saying this, but that's the truth. Nigerians in the past 2 years have traveled around Nigeria more than any other time in history, and that was a result of COVID. So yes, COVID has come with its challenges, but the opportunities are there. We now see that travel is a necessity. Before now, the average Nigerian or Deltan will assume that travel is only for the rich man. But having stayed locked into in our houses for a long time, we have come to realize that look, it is important that we socialize. It is important that we go out, and relax and have some fun. And these are the opportunities we need to see. We need to start to now let people understand all of the options that they have when they need to travel. Where can they visit in around Delta State? Whether it's Asaba, whether it's in Sapele or Warri, or all around Delta State, there are lots of tourism attractions, and we must take advantage of this time when we can't go abroad to start to visit these places, and more importantly, start to help the locals to see the opportunities in terms of wealth creation, in terms of employment creation, in terms of social integration that tourism does possess.
Thank you so much. Gloria, tourism is a trillion-dollar business. How do we use it to rewrite Nigeria's narrative?
Thank you very much. We all know that tourism is a very viable sector, and for a very long time, after this oil doom, because at the point in time it was oil sector, but at the point in time now tourism has now come to stay. Now what we are trying to say now is that tourism has so many potentials that we can tap into and make use of all these things and make sure that the economy is stable. Like for example in Delta State, I'll narrow it to what we have in Delta State. You can see that we have so many tourist sites that as at a point in time, these are the areas we need to work on, we need to manage it properly, and you see that by the time the patronage is high, we start yielding income that will be bringing these millions, billions, trillions into the Delta State economy. So there are lots of areas we need to touch. Now we are looking into Delta State. We have so many areas like in Asaba. We have tourist areas that we can grow. The ones that are existing, we can as well improve on them. And you see that before you know it, when the tourists are coming in, there are some levies or fees that are being paid, and all these are finances or money that is coming into the government's purse. So at this point in time, we must try as much as possible to develop it in such a way and have a full package of it. So by the time we have the full package, as we are giving out all these activities we have as tourists, it will help. It will help us to manage the resources we have within the Delta State. Like for example, the other time I visited somewhere, I discovered that if only we can really work on this thing, more monies will be coming. We don't need to be traveling far. We have tourist centers like this Landa Broda here. We have the Dema Sonwonko, the old upstairs. We have the Araya Bible site. We have so many, even there are some villages within Delta State that we can get into the taproot and see some of all these things that we can bring out, and we start making money in realizing what we have so that the GDP will be what? Will be realized. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I'd like to add here, it's so exciting to know that His Excellency Senator Dr. Ifeanyi Okowa, the tourism coach here in Delta State, has so far done so much for Nigeria. Only recently we have a vice president of Nigeria coming to Delta State to open no other place than a new secretariat here in Delta State. The Okowa administration has also done tremendously. We have the biggest so far in West Africa film village stationed here in Asaba, Delta State. Notably, there's another tourist attraction in Koko. The last time I saw that I can remember was in Cotonou or Togo, yeah, both countries where you have markets floating on water. It's so exciting to know that we also have that here in Delta State. No other place in Nigeria has that magnificent tourist site. So I want to give it back to His Excellency Senator Dr. Kowa for projecting tourism in Delta State to the outside world. In this respect, I'd like to come back to Felix. What actually do you think, so far so good, His Excellency of Kowa has done for Delta State? Talking about tourism, please.
All right, we have a nation working governor who is so much interested in all aspects and area of Delta State, and is one of those key members that believe in data beyond oil, and the diversifying from oil into other sectors in order to create wealth and generate revenue for the state. So if you look at what you just mentioned, the new state secretariat is a beautiful place to behold. It's a tourist attraction. In overseas, those are places people travel to. Those are memorable places. You go there, you just want to have a feel of that place. That place as it is now, we are driving along that road in the night, you see how beautiful that place is, an attraction on its own. That secretariat is one of the most beautiful secretariat in Delta State. So it's all kudos to the state governor, the president of Senator Dr. Ifeanyi Okowa, who have done that. And also, you see, the governor has been reaching out to every local government, talking about the cocoa museum that you just talked. If you have been there recently, we see a lot of innovation inside that museum. During the Warri Carnival that we heard about last week, we visited that cocoa museum, and that place, the governor has given it a facelift over there, which is a beautiful thing. And like in tourism, we are not really, the customer is always, they want more. Even though the governor has tried his best to lift, to give the tourism sector a facelift, we also still want him to develop more into the state. A lot of Delta as a whole is a tourist attraction. The 25 local government, if you go in, like my colleague said, if you go to every community, you see a lot of tourism rallies over there. Those things can be commercialized. Those things can be preserved. It's all about sustaining this legacy that the governor have started. So Delta State in particular is a big market for tourism. And the governor, which I know is a listening governor, is aware that if tourism is being given a facelift, being given a boost, it can serve as an alternative source of revenue aside the norm of normal oil and all other sources of revenue. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Talking about local government areas now in Delta State, I see that there's no local government in Delta State that does not have a tourist site, one tourist site or the other. It's actually not what we have, it's how we make use of what we have. How do we dispel ignorance in this sector and add value, please?
Yes, it's very important to create awareness about tourism. So tourism is show business. You want to show people the best of you, and there's no way people will know what attractions you have or what opportunities you have if you don't let them know. And that's why Delta has to go about singing like a canary, if you would, making noise about all of the beauty of Delta State. Let me give examples. Now, Nigerians spend millions of naira to travel to places like Seychelles, to Mauritius, and even to the Caribbean, Hawaii, and all of those. Why? Because they're looking for a beautiful beach and crystal clear waters. Now, if you drive 1 hour away from Asaba, you are in Abraka, and that water, that Etup River, is crystal clear. But how would you get people to visit if they don't know about these options? So, and that's what tourism does. You need to make a lot of publicity about these attractions, and then this naturally will also attract investments. So you then have people who are coming in to invest, to build resorts around it. I mean, the last time, some months back, I visited Abraka, I saw a number of resorts already coming up, around those attractions. So that generally will then also create employment. You are then looking at all of the social benefits that will come. So with a state like Delta State, it's important that as we are building these these attractions, as we're developing the ones we're developing, we're also letting people know. So Delta, I think, needs a tourist marketing agency, one that is all about singing about all of the beautiful things. Now look at the wonderful film village that's coming up. If people don't know, then they can take advantage. So I'm so looking forward to the opening. I believe that would have all of the as many artists as possible come in with all of the fanfare and noise about it, and let people see and hear about these things, and naturally it will then attract tourists who want to come and be part of everything good, And then more importantly, one thing I think, one area that Nigeria has not done well with tourism is working with the travel trade. So tourists are sophisticated people. Nobody is going to spend time in Lagos to start to plan, how will I visit Asaba? Where will I stay? Where will I go? But when you have tour operators who are creating these packages, just like my sister said, people can then pay. You want to ask, how much is 1 week in Delta State? How much will it cost me to spend 3 nights in Asaba? And then you have tour operators who are creating these packages with hotels, with pickup from the airport, with visits to this attraction or that attraction, and then it becomes easier for people to pay. So whether they're coming from Port Harcourt or Lagos, or even within Delta State traveling around the regions, they know that they can easily pay a certain amount for a number of nights, and then they're sorted out, and that's where we need to get to with our tourism.
Thank you so much, our panelists. I'd like to tell the audience at this point in time that there's also a phone-in session on this program. You can call. The line is open, please. You can call 091 555 88488. I take it again, 091 555 88488. We are pleased to have your discussions, to have your questions, to have your, just come in and let us know anything you need to say about tourism in Delta State precisely. Thank you so much. We're moving on. I'd like to say something here. This question is one that I actually didn't want to ask, but I think now I should take it away. What are the key takeaways from COVID-19 and now that Nigeria is trying to resuscitate the industry? Ife, please, can you come in again?
COVID has shown us that we can't depend on inbound tourism. So in the first place, our inbound tourist numbers are not where they should be. We have a lot of business travelers, but that's also an opportunity for us. So where you have all of these business tourists who are coming in, because by the definition of tourism, once you're staying for less than 365 days outside your place of abode, then you're a tourist. So whether they're coming for business, they're coming to look out for oil business, what are we doing to them? Are we converting them into leisure tourists, which is they've done their business and then they can spend 2 or 3 nights extra to visit the tourism attractions? So we need to start to look at all of the opportunities that we can tap from COVID. We're looking at for example, the nuances of COVID. People are discouraged from having indoor events, but the outdoors are encouraged. So that's also an opportunity for us. We have lots of outdoor centers, like I mentioned, Asaba. We have the beaches around Abraka. We have the beaches in Asaba as well. We have lots of open spaces where people can have their events or whatever. And this is about tourism. So COVID has brought about a new consciousness about the importance of people traveling, the importance of people relaxing, the importance of people imbibing healthy cultures. And all of these are things that, I think is better for us in the long run, because when we look back years from now, perhaps when we're done with the whole COVID, we'll be able to look at these years and say, these were the times when we actually got to appreciate, the beauty of our state, Delta State and Nigeria.
Thank you so much. Gloria, I'd like to ask you this question. Which tourist sites are definitely in your bucket list and why, please?
The
Tourist sites in Delta State.
The tourist sites we have in Delta State, they are enormous. There are so many that we want to take it from one community or from one local government to another. But the 4 major ones I have in my bucket list for Delta State government in our tourism industry, so that we can strive and get to that point where we can be looking internally and at the same time giving those facilities to visitors that are coming. The first one is this Landa Brother Anchorage. We have to critically look into that tourist attraction site, remembering how it was started. And with what we have now, we need to enhance more, add more value to that place, try and equip it, and at the same time, employ professionals that will be there on ground so that the management will be able to have a full package for the tourists that are coming. I mean, Asaba is a very beautiful town. If you are coming in from the axis of Onitsha, or you are coming in from the axis of Benin, you always see that Asaba is a beautiful city on the axis of this Niger region. So that is the first one. Then the second one that is in my bucket list for this, our tourism industry, is the Holy Bible Center in Araya. I have visited that place up to 3 times. And I went there twice when it was on the dry season. The third one, it was during the rains period. And when I got there, I didn't know that there would be hiccups on the way. And you need to see this vast water or river-like. And everybody was like, people cannot go beyond there. But I needed to be there. So we had to paddle this canoe, got across there to see what they have there. Now, if you see what this COVID-19 has done, especially to we Deltans, it made so many of us drew closer to God during that period. So Araya Bible Center is a place for religious tourism, where you take your time, you go there and relax, you have your quiet time with your God, or whatever thing you have. So that place now, we want to look into upgrading it, having good accommodations. Then if the road network will be good there, and at the same time, you propel it openly for people to know what those things are there, and the reasons why people are going there. People come from Abuja, Port Harcourt, Lagos to visit that place. Then the third one, I want to inculcate this. In the area of hospitality, I want us to have something like a museum in Delta State. When we have a museum, you see the rich cultural heritage we have in Delta State. And our state is so blessed that we have the Delta Igbos, we have the Isokos, we have the Robos, we have the Shekiris, we have the Ijos. So you agree with me that by the time we bring the whole of these ethnic groups together and bring all the artifacts we have and put them in the museum, it will make a long way to help us to develop the culture in our tourism center. Remembering that the children we have now these days, they don't even know what we had before then. So by the time we develop this tourism, this museum center, our able governor, he's always capable of doing things. And I know that His Excellency will look for a place and get us a museum in Delta State. Now the third one is cultural festivals. I want to admonish our amiable governor, the person of His Excellency, Senator Dr. Ifeanyi Okowa, to try as much as possible to marry up the indigenous festivals we have in Delta State. Asaba, we do festivals here. The Urhobos and Isokos, they have their festivals. Okwashuku has. Ijo and Isoko has. So I want it to be like a full Delta State cultural festival show, whereby each ethnic groups will come and showcase what we have. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. It's been so exciting. I want to thank our panelists here for really, these are round pegs and round holes. We have a stakeholder, Ife is a founder of Nigeria Travel Week. We have Gloria here. We have Felix here. They are lecturers in Delta State Polytechnic, Ogwashuku. And I made bold to say, unfortunately, we didn't get any phone in. Nobody called in. Next time, I'd like to let you know that if you call in, you get a pack of these. These are my books in the carrier bag. You call in, the first caller actually will get a pack to take home from DBS. Yeah. It's so exciting to also let you know that the show is also a YouTube channel. Kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel, Indulge Tourism with Fidelia. I'm glad to also let you know that you can also like the channel, subscribe and like the channel. So far, so good. We are waiting. Next week is another beautiful time out there. We're going to have no other person than His Excellency, former President Olusegun Obasanjo on the show here, live on the show here. So don't miss it and kindly stay tuned until we say next week. Thank you so much. Thank you, panelists. God bless you all. Love you all, audience. Bye.